Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Bobby.
I'll be right with you. I just have to go shut.
Okay.
Hello, Bobby. Can you hear me?
I think so.
Yes, I
Arunima.
can. I'm sorry.
Okay. Hey.
I was again trying to manage my life here with these dogs. They're probably going to start fighting for a few minutes again, as usual.
Okay.
So today, I just thought we have to cover a few things. One is Arunima. I don't know if you got my LinkedIn message about
Yeah,
just
I saw it.
Perfect. Sending some final recommendations over to the TSC. Maybe not for this Thursday, but maybe next Thursday, so that I could just like tell them the task force is over. These are our suggestions. Hopefully, that will end the task force and everything you need to do for the mentorship, other than the last, they haven't announced the global forum yet, but we still need to do a community-wide meetup, and I will email David Boswell at the end of this to tell him that we're going to do that. And it's basically the same presentation that we gave the TOC with our demos and our recommendations. Okay, here we go. Hold on. Why? Thank you. With the recommendations that we had to, share. And then at the end of that, I don't like to do meetups without an ask, and the ask is going to be for people to join Gianluca. And the hold on, I have to put these dogs outside. Hold on. Sorry about that. I had to put the puppy out. So, and the meetup, what we're going to ask at the end of the meetup is for people to join this call, which is going to change to the AI task force lab call. I'm not sure how we're going to word it, how that's going to work. And if this time is good for you, Gianluca, because you would be kind of organizing the coders that join to help. And us as well, like if there's a job for like to copy repos in for the AI tool to work better, the more information from us, the better, like you said, we could help out with that. So again, this call is going to morph into helping you with that lab.
Okay, Bobby, thank you.
So yeah, that's
oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, thank you. I also prepared two slides about that, and also I shared this presentation with you. And if you want to see, I can show you now.
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect. This is a draft. This is the name of the project. I created the repo. Also, I done a pull request and was accepted and merged into Hyperledger ecosystem. And this is my description. The FAQ provides a chatbot that replies to the questions on Hyperledger ecosystem. The scope of the tool is to support the Hyperledger user developer, and so on, do their work, avoiding to wade through oceans of documents to find information they are looking for. But this is my proposal. And as that, I read some documentation, and I have some question. One is the project manager is Tracy. Is correct?
No, I don't think so. So what Tracy will be,
Okay.
she would be your lab steward. You are the project.
Okay. Okay.
So Tracy
Okay.
basically is your liaison between the Hyperledger staff and resources when you're working with the lab. So for instance, if you need resources on licensing or security, you need a security somebody to check some issues, and that requires resources. She would be the one to, apply them to your project.
Okay. This question mark for the moment. Okay. And what about, so I also found a lot of information about the programming language. We can use Python, JavaScript, I think, without problem. And the license, we can only use open source tools. Sorry?
I think we have an Apache license, and I'm not sure. Again, that's a question for Tracy, what that means. But you have to, before you get out of incubation and into a graduated project, or actually, I think before you get out of the labs, go into incubation, you need to have an Apache license. And again, that's one of those resources that Tracy would attach to your project. You just say, Tracy, I need an Apache license, or I need to be licensed before, or she'll tell, there's certain things that the community supplies for you as a lab.
Okay.
The use of third party, you can, again, I don't believe Hyperledger is in a position to pay for third party, but there is I'm not sure where it is, tooling policy where it lists all the stuff we do pay for that you can use. And if there is a special tool that you need, you can bring it again up to Tracy and say, can I get some resources for this? Let me see if I can find the community tools list. I guess that would be it. I think I found it. I'll put it in the chat.
At the moment, we are using only free and open source tools.
I think on this wiki page. Yeah, but it doesn't have on this source control, GitHub Labs. No, that might not be what we're looking for.
Oh yeah. Also, I found it. This morning. Yeah. Okay, that one. That link.
Yeah, it has
Okay.
all
Yeah.
the information.
Yeah, I see about documentation and also about the other tools. Basically, are GitHub tools for packages
I need to step. I'm sorry, I need to step away for just 2 minutes. I'll be right back. So if you want to chat with Rima about what's going on, that would be great. But I'm sorry, I apologize.
Okay, no
sure,
problem.
Bobby, take your time, I think. Yeah, we can start as soon as you join.
Okay. So do you already know something about this project,
Yeah, yeah,
Abhima?
yeah. I have been like I couldn't attend the last meet, but I did listen to the recording. And also today
Mhm.
I was wondering like about the time. I guess the time has changed for this meeting, right?
Mhm. Yes,
Okay,
yes. Yeah,
okay.
and yeah, I have the information, also the answer, but I'm checking with Bobby if the this is right, because for example, also about the organizational organizational details about the meetings, how to plan, how to decide the day and the hour, and other suggestion to start, because I don't know if I can start creating a new repo, how to use, or I can use, for example, other project. I found this morning another project about yeah, that one. Cardea is very similar, because
Okay.
it is not it is not
Nicholas, are you
involving.
trying to share your screen?
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Well, it's stuck on, you're trying to share, but it's not sharing. So if you
Yeah,
were
yeah,
trying to
yeah.
share, you should start again.
I thought he was not
Okay.
sharing actually.
It was like he's starting to share his screen and it never started, it never shared.
Yeah,
Okay.
the same thing
Do you
now.
Same
see my
thing. Now it says,
screen?
no,
Okay.
it just says that you're starting to share.
Ah, okay. I try again. And now?
No, I think there is a problem with selecting the correct window. Maybe.
Okay. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. And because so this morning I found another project similar to a lab project similar to AI FAQ. The name is Cardea, and similar because it is not involving any code in the blockchain. So is I think an external project. It could be, for me. It could be a way to see how to start the project, how to, I don't know, create the documentation, and so on. And I also, I'm following the wiki page. I read something about the that documentation, and also other documentation about the okay, the third party licenses and so on. And
Oh,
now
there
the
you go.
question is, yeah, I read. Yeah, this is the different.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, luckily is clear. It's clear, and
Yes.
also the motivation is clear. And so, but most tools are in Apache 2 license, so no problem.
Mhm.
And I think yeah, it's finished. Yeah, last question about the tools. This is the answer about the last question. At the moment, the Hyperledger policy is to use GitHub in all the different PM activity, and Discord for the communication. For the communication. For material, Markdown, GitHub Pages, and material for Markdown. So we already know that one because this summer, yeah,
Yeah, we spent a lot
we
of time on
learned.
that one.
So the question is, you are, I know you are confirming that one, and about the some suggestions about
All right, so
meetings
I've been
and
in the community for 5 years, and the biggest suggestion I have in an open source community, and I tried to tell this to the TOC the other day, is consistency in whatever you do. So they were talking about it's hard for people to join the community because they're really not sure with onboarding where to go. And I said, well, if you have a session once a month on the same day of the month, that is welcome to the Hyperledger community, people will put it on their calendars and they will show up and they will get the information. That's a lot easier for people than having them to go look for it. So I suggest the same thing for you. Set up, whether it's you don't have to meet every week, whether it's every other week, or if you want to meet every week, that meeting time is available, or you can do any other meeting time that you choose. And you would tell David and he would give you access to put your lab on the calendar and set meetings and do whatever. So my suggestion is consistency in meetings and use the wiki page, because like I did with ours, you can go back and check what we talked about every single meeting, even if it's just a silly sentence that says we talked about, whatever today, or here's who was here and we went over this, or here's the presentation we worked on, so that you can see and go back. And that gives people kind of like, oh, look, I was in this meeting. I did this. It gives them a sense of permanency in the project, in my opinion. So that's what I would just be consistent with the meetings and with keeping the information on that same wiki page, so that people, there's been links on the top of the wiki page right to the GitHub repo or for whatever you need, but keep it so that there's a place they can go that's not GitHub, because a lot of people are going to work on your project for this that don't know how to code and don't know a thing about GitHub, but want to help. They want to check to see if when they ask questions, the answers are right, or maybe they want to put the document information in the GPT model or whatever. So that's why I like the wiki pages. I know the Hyperledger community is moving more towards GitHub and keeping everything in GitHub, but I don't think that that's viable for people who don't code. My opinion.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. And also
But yeah, that
your
is
experience.
me.
So yeah.
Yeah, the only time I was ever active in a project and kept active in this project when I know every Monday the meeting was going to happen, or every other Monday the meeting was going to happen. And that to me was everything, because I knew where I was going to be. When you throw it out there like, oh, this week it's going to be Tuesday, this week you're never going to have a following if it's not consistent. Anyway,
Okay,
do you have
perfect.
any suggestions for Gianluca Arunima?
No, I think what the advice you said, consistency. I think it's really such a simple advice, but so much important and impactful, because like it becomes a like we have it in our mind, and if every day some other day the meeting is happening, then it gets out of our mind and we forget things and it breaks the consistency. So see, it was such a beautiful advice. Thank you.
Oh, no worries. And
Yeah,
yeah,
Thank you.
the consistency.
exactly.
Okay, thank you.
And then you said
Thank you
other
too.
suggestions. Check the Cactus project. I do have to say that's a great suggestion, because I'm a huge fan of Firefly because of how they helped me out when I was trying to do the first version of the Giving Chain. And by the way, I might be doing the second version of the Giving Chain. I will let you all know if you want to be in on that project. I might have funding coming, so that's something interesting down the road. But anyway, so I like Firefly, but when Firefly and Cactus came to the TOC to present, Cactus was so much more organized. Firefly just showed us like things in their GitHub that they needed to address, whereas Cactus had like a nice presentation. And if you want to go back to the TOC meeting, it was a month ago. The recordings are all stored in GitHub and in the wiki pages or GitHub pages. Just to see the difference. It was just so much cleaner. So I would go with the Cactus project more than Firefly. Only because they did have, they gave a nice presentation. They hit all the points. And Their 2 year, I think they've had a 2 year journey. So when I was in Arizona, no, that's 2022. It's been 3 years. So Cactus came out of everybody in the global forum at 2020, 21. Was it 21? It was in Arizona. So that's 2020. Wanting their blockchains to talk to each other, wanting to work with other blockchains. So Peter from the TOC, he's fabulous. If you ever get a chance to work with him, definitely do. He created a lab, just like Gianluca is doing, for Cactus. It's Cacti now, but it was Cactus. And what that did was make a playground where all the blockchains can go and communicate with each other so that they can exchange value in this playground and then go back to their blockchains and keep their information, permanent and immutable. And it's a great, it's a great way to, and Caliper kind of does the same thing, because Caliper ranks or gives you the health of your project, and it has to do it the same way. It has to throw all the blockchains in a neutral playground for them to talk to each other or for them to be analyzed. So those two projects do that. And they don't really, again, Cactus has code. Firefly has like lots of code. Caliper is just a tool to measure your blockchain. So is the Explorer Lab is a tool to watch your blockchain, which is more user interfaces and wireframes than code. So there's a lot of tooling projects, and yours would be a tooling project as opposed to blockchains that the community supports 100%. So that's good.
Okay, thank you. Thank you
And
very
then
much.
we'll be, at least I'll be here. If you change the meeting times, I'm coming with you. So, however this is going to morph, you're not alone. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, because I think to start on Monday next month, to start with Monday meetings, because Monday is a good day for me. So
Yeah, they're a good day for everybody. Good startup for the week.
yeah.
Excellent. So now the next thing we have to talk about, two things, is one, the recommendations for the TOC, and the presentation for the meetups. And I'm going to do that to my 3,000 member group here that's not part of Hyperledger. I'm going to put it on there too. I'm going to try to talk to the people at MIA, which is an organization in Miami that is really strong in AI, and see if they want anything to do with it. And I'm going to invite Robert Reeves. I have a question for you guys. Did you think the TOC liked the metaverse at all? Or were they just like not understanding it or not into it? I didn't get a good vibe from that.
Sorry, I did not join that day, but
No, it was almost like, Gianluca, when I started to show, so we did the recommendations through the metaverse, and it was almost like it felt like a ton of rocks. Like it was just not, nobody was asking questions, nobody was excited. It was just like, okay, great, thanks for showing us that, So now I'm not really sure if I should continue with that, even though I think it's a fabulous idea. I do want to run it by Robert Reeves and see if he thinks it's a viable place to store all this information. I mean, I don't think, again, I don't think
in my opinion, sorry.
When Tracy asked me if you could link to something, I basically understood she didn't get it. I was like, no, everything's a link.
Yeah,
anyway,
I think
it's a great idea, but maybe maybe it was something new for them, and it may take some time for them to get that. Maybe it's something very new, right? This metaverse coming up, and often in some conferences also, they have their conferences in this metaverses, and it looks really amazing. So I think it's a great idea, but I think maybe we can let's run it through Robert Reeves and let's see what he advises us.
Yeah, I'm going to send him a recap of what happened, offer him a private session into the metaverse, which if he accepts, I'll let you guys know when that is. And then just tell him about the meetup that we're planning, and that would keep him up to date. So for me, I'm just gonna write David Boswell an email about setting up that meetup. We decided what day? We said Tuesdays were good at like 6 or 7.
Yeah, it
Tuesday
works for me.
evenings.
Yeah.
I think if I recall, that's what we decided.
This week is right.
No. This will be probably towards the end of November. We're just trying to figure out a date that works for everybody. And then I'll tell David that's the date we'd like him to set up a group meetup. So I'm looking at the
Okay.
rest of November. I'm not sure when Thanksgiving is. Do you want to do the 28th?
Yeah, that works. That
Yeah.
works for me.
So it would be the evening. So it would be your morning, I guess, unless you wanted to, like, I don't know. That's, I think we decided that evening Eastern time was better for everybody.
Sorry, what time?
So it would be right now is 9:30, 10:30. It would be about 9 hours from now. Or 10.
Before.
It would be in the evening Eastern time. So I'll put it in the chat so it's easier for.
Okay.
Okay, so it would be. $28. Okay. And if that
7
works for,
p.m. is okay. Let
because
me
we're on
check.
standard time now. We changed back. Don't know why.
Okay, 9:30.
Does that work?
9:30 because 7 p.m.
And then we'll do kind of the same meetup where we're going to ask at the end, we're going to end with the Lab of Gianluca's and ask people to sign up. What I like to do again, because this is the reason why I joined the community, was 6 years ago when I started, there was a woman running the public sector, or no, social impact special interest group. And I met her at a meetup. And what she had us do at the meetup was log into the wiki page and put our name down, so that she made sure anyone who wanted to volunteer went to the wiki page during the meetup, got a sign in for the Linux Foundation if they didn't have one, and put their name down on the wiki page. Because once you've done that, like I kind of did the same thing with you guys in the mentorship program. I gave you a wikis page for your work because you're kind of tied in then. So I suggest that that becomes part of the meetup too, is how to put your name on a, wiki page. And we'll have a wiki page set up under the labs by the time we have the meetup, so that when people want to volunteer, we make it easy.
Okay, I think it's the one during the night, but 1 o'clock. But yeah, it's not too late. 1 o'clock.
At 1 o'clock in the afternoon or in the middle of the
yeah.
night?
Yeah, I think 1 o'clock because 7 p.m. 7 p.m.
Just add 10 hours to what you're doing right now.
Yeah, it's 1 o'clock in Italy.
In the morning or
Yes.
not, or in the afternoon?
No, in the morning.
I can't. No. We'll pick a different time then.
Yeah,
We
because
can do
because I have
five.
yeah, it's Central European time.
How's that work? Better? 2 hours earlier?
Central European time at the moment. For example, now it's 15:30.
So it's your afternoon now.
Yeah,
Oh,
correct.
See, now it's
No.
Aruna's evening, so she wakes up, so her 7 PM is the morning.
Yeah,
So let's
7
do,
p.m. was like 5 a.m. here.
so what if, so 5 PM would be what for you then?
5 p.m. would be 3:30 a.m. for me.
Oh, God. Do you want to just do 9 AM in the morning?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
this
that would
time, we'll
work.
just do the meetup for 9 AM.
Yes.
So it would be,
But for me, it's okay. 1 o'clock in the morning. It's okay. It's okay.
1
It's not
o'clock.
too late.
How young are you? You're still up.
Not so young.
Jesus Christ. I'm asleep by 9. So
Then
if
even
that works, I'll run it by David. So we'll say if you're okay with, we can do 6:30 to make it 12:30, if that's better.
6:30. So
The half
later.
hour. No, earlier. So. that.
6:30. Okay. It's midnight and it's okay.
Yeah,
30
we'll do
minutes
that.
earlier. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All right, so I will email David and I will get that going, get it started. It'll be kind of the same presentation we did. Everyone's invited to present. And we will end with the ask for the lab and showing people how to sign up. And I will get that through David. The only other thing is to make our recommendations to the TSC, and so that they open the 2 new task force, or the AI task force and the metaverse. I don't think they're going to go for the metaverse task force. We can call it the library task force. I think they might float better with that. So Arunima, did you have any thoughts on that, getting those recommendations over to them?
Over to them, like in the form
Well,
of
let me share,
presentation.
hold on, let me share my screen. So
Okay.
mentorship program. That's it. Hold on, I'm going to find it. There it is. Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, so this is the mentorship program. That's not what I wanted. I'm sorry. I'm in the wrong section. I wanted. So when the TOC set up the documentation task force, there were certain deliverables that we needed to hit. Oh, I did it wrong. So this is the GitHub repository for the documentation. And we kind of have to address these, I think there's 4 points, deliverables of work products. So we have to fill this out. So again, the common style guide, it's up in the metaverse. I think I'll copy it to a wiki page. I'm not really sure, but that's something we have to decide how we're going to word this, or how we're going to present the style guide. The common publishing platforms, that's the suggestions for the Make the Docs. Best practices for creating documentation, that's that creator content hub where we're going to put some links to like ChatGPT for your, to create your outline, whimsical, whatever, magical, whimsical, whatever it is, to get moving on that. So whatever. We'll go over this again next week, Arunima, but if you could this week take a pass at filling these out with what we did this summer, that would be great.
Okay, sure, I will do that.
And then
I
we'll
just
go over
saw
what
this
you
link.
have, and we'll see. Yeah, we'll just talk about, what we think You know, we want, because again, we like the idea of the library, we like the idea of having consistent documentation, you know, so just how we ever can word that in here to get this approved and the task force put away and the new task forces out there. I'll put this link in the chat. So everybody's got their little jobs for today. Stop sharing.
Yeah, I think I can do this on a Google Docs and then share it with you on LinkedIn, and you can go through that, right?
Perfect.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I'll email David and get a sure tie up for that date. And then we'll get moving on working again, just updating the presentation for that. I will also alert Min to let the mentees know to come to that presentation so that they can pick up on our documentation flow on how we want them to eventually go to the metaverse, go upstairs or go inside and create documentation according to our steps that are in the metaverse. But that might have to be a wiki page for now. We'll see. And then we'll get moving on Gianluca's lab. I'm very excited. Does anybody have any more questions for me? No. Congratulations, Gianluca. Again, we're very proud of you.
Thank you.
And Aruna, I'll
Thank you
look
very
for the
much.
document and we'll get this thing moving.
Yeah, sure. I will start working on it in 1 to 2 days, and once I'm done with the draft, I will send it to you over LinkedIn.
Perfect. Thank you so much, and
Yeah.
everybody have a great week.
Thank you. Thank you, you too.
Thank you, Bobby.
Bye.
Bye.